Hello, friends. So, welcome again. In this podcast, we will see some insights and our experience about failure. It will help you just gain some information about it and how to deal with setbacks and failures. So, firstly, I can tell you something like that. Whenever we are going to become successful or we just dream to be successful, we have to face some setbacks or we have to face some failures along the way. No person successful has ever been there who has never uh, faced any failures. Everyone just grows with failures and everybody faces some failures in his own life. So we should also deal with some kind of failures and setbacks. Everyone just go through it and everybody knows how much feeling they got, but how to really deal with it or what kind of things we have to do in that kind of thing, we will discuss in this podcast. So Anand, I will ask you, what kind of failures have you ever been through? Can you share some kind of story or experience about yourself?
Yes, sure. I would like to tell my story about while making my hardware projects. Many times I just imagine how will be the result, means what will be outcome, but in the process of creating that project, the many failure came in the way that I can't be imagine that, means sometime it technical issues, sometime any weight if I building any drone, different failures. But I think that this failure teach me that what is success, means Thomas Alva Edison also said that I know 999 ways to not make bulb by this way, and he contribute that this 999 failures teach me how to build a bulb. Means failure is not opposite to success, it's a part of success, I think.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting the things, like failure is a part of success, and whenever we are progressing in our life, it is mainly because of the failures we got. Because when we gain success or when we just got succeeded in some kind of thing, then we don't actually know how to deal with that. I experienced this with some kind of many IITians or just toppers of some competitive exams. Like though they don't even know how they got topped in the exam, because it was kind of luck or kind of thing that they don't know what they should not do. They only did something and it worked. But the actual people who teach the IITians are the ones that failed IIT a couple of times. Like the teacher who teaches IITians are the IIT failures, or I will not use the word failure. They tried the exam and they tried couple of times to get through the exam, like 4 to 5 times, and after a couple of times they got some experience, and that experience they teach others, and by that experience other got succeeded or become successful in that kind of exam. So it really means a lot of this failure. We can just learn very much thing about failure. We can learn as much from failure. We don't learn that much from success. That's what I think.
Yes, it's correct. It's like a rose with its stick. There are many thrones uh, to reach the rose. Like there are many difficulties in life to achieve our beautiful success. And I also think that every failure is a temporary for that moment. If we think like that at that moment, is this problem will with me after 1 year or after some days, like I fail in exam, then I should think that if it will with me for my life, or it is temporary failure. and we should not take it personally, because when we take it personally, that affects our brain and down our self image. We should think that yes, I tried but it not work, but I will try better and improve these mistakes and succeed likewise.
Yeah, also we can see like that when we just got failure, and if we think that this failure has not to be with me, if we feel sad about it, or if we feel angry about it, then our mindset shifts from positive to negative. Like we just think that the thing is not for us. Any goal we are achieving, we think that it is not for us, and we just stop trying to do it. But if we take the failure in a positive way, like we have learned something from it, or we just learned what not to do, then it can be said as a positive about it. We just gain some knowledge what not to do. It's also an important kind of thing in gaining some kind of experience from failures. I see a quote coming very much times, like the people which become successful and become are only a difference, have one difference, like the failures do not reflect on their failures, and hence they do not progress from their failures. But the successful people also fails in their life, and they reflect too much, or you can say that they reflect their failures, and then slowly they start seeing their own mistakes and try to avoid these mistakes, and hence they progress and get successful.
Yes, it's correct. I also heard that the intelligent people are who that he don't repeat their mistake again and again. Likewise, there are many example in our society, like Sachin Tendulkar, that he fell in 10th or 12th, and now his own chapter is created for students. Likewise, Virat Kohli is there, and recently a movie came that tells 12 fail story. Means only our we are our own limitations. If anything fails, I should we should try other thing, or try that thing again with more power. And we also take responsibility of our life. We start giving excuses that I fail because of him, because of this distraction. The I remember that story, like when a ship is in the water, or can we see in the sea, the hole, if there is hole in the ship, and the ship gets water into in it, then it will sink. Likewise, our mind is, if we stop that water or distraction not go in our head, then we are safe. Likewise.
Yeah, I like the point you made, that the failures we need to also accept those that are our own mistake. Much of the times when people get failed, they just blame others, that I failed due to somebody else. It was not my fault. But the great people, or the people which are intelligent enough, that are wise enough, they understand that they self have some mistakes, or they have made some mistakes which has lead to some kind of failure. It's not something that can blame others to just about those mistakes. It is our own responsibility to correct those mistakes and avoid them next time when you are trying.
Yes, it's correct. And we also focus about the what is the reason of our failure, where like uh, we should follow or analyze our SWOT analysis, like strength, weaknesses, threat, all that points. Where is our weak point, and uh, then create it our strongest point. Like
Yeah, I see that we can see some SWOT analysis or kind of thing. Also, another point I was trying to make is I see failures from a different perspective. I thought that there are two major types of failure, like we have discussed both of them. First one is a kind of failure in the educational life or in the college, school, or something like that. And another failure is kind of in real life. I have seen most of the people who fail in their educational career still do good enough and become successful in their real life. But the people who actually fails in their real world are very much people who not able to make it to the top. What do you think about it?
Yes, because most of people succeed in the education but not succeed in real life. Means they don't understand how the life works and what are the principle or we can say technique or systems to go on the top. Means there are many criterias or things that affect the human life. There is money, there is other your job, and you have a growth mindset that you should not stuck in small thing, and you don't have any financial literacy likewise. So people firstly, there is most of people have problem that about money. The money came and there in it goes from their hand. They have multiple EMIs or multiple unnecessary things they buy. So first they need financial literacy, I think.
Yeah, it's a point, but I think that point also deviates from our original point of failure. We should also focus on it that if we just think about failure, there can be multiple failures in our span of whole life. In firstly, we have seen that in educational, our life of educational aspect of our life, we fail in college or we fail in our school because of grades, because of not getting enough grades. If a student is doing well in sports or he is doing well in other extracurricular activities, but he is not good enough in college or any curricular activities, then he got failed in the exams. But it doesn't really do anything for his life. We know that everybody just say us that getting good marks is really important, but actually got getting failed in the exams of or any college or university doesn't really define your whole life. But after he gets into a real world, if he tries something and he fails again and again, and if he just loses his faith on the thing that he cannot do it, he just think that he cannot do it, then it becomes a real failure. But if he just analyze the thing that he can do it, if he just avoid some kind of mistake or he will just improve his own self, then he can do much of the better. Like I will also say, like um, if there is a person who is trying to uh, become the best person in the runner, if a story, we consider a story, a person is there and he is trying to become a best runner in the world, and he fails again and again. If he participate in running competition and he fails or just came third, fourth, fifth, and as along he tries and again, he starts to analyze or realize his own mistakes, and then he starts to focus on these his mistakes and improve his speed, also improve his efficiency, and also he focus on actual thing rather than success or failure. So he totally get away from actual success and failure definition. He just focus on doing the particular thing. Then he just loses the track from success and failure, and he achieves the thing that he wants. What do you think?
Yes, success or failure is all about our mindset, how we give direction to our thoughts, and how we uh, teach to our brain that it is a very little thing, I am more than it. Likewise, there are many things like beyond the success or failure. Means we only at the starting phase of life we consider this is failure or success. But when we start enjoying our self or our life, then we don't affect by the sadness of failure or the attraction of success, I think.
Yeah, it's correct. Like we should also focus on other aspects, like actually doing the thing rather than success and failure. What do you think? What are the other aspects of failure? Like if somebody is experiencing too much failure, like he is doing improvement, he is also analyze his failure, but he is still failing again and again. What he can do to just make himself think that what he can do to change his mindset from a failure to a successful.
First, he need to sit and write down his failures and what things he is repeating again and again. Many times, what happens if first failure due to A reason, then we only focus on A, and after second failure happen with other two B or C, so we need to focus on everything. Means that is our weak point, that should be our strongest point, and also other point should be noticed by ourselves. Means we should not consider only weak point, also there are many factors that affect failures. If we can take any example, like in our study, there are many things like uh, we should study by our marking scheme. Means which chapter have weightage, and the most of question papers of previous years, or covering all the curriculum. If I don't know whole curriculum and I don't understand it, then I first need to focus on that. But I cannot ignore the other two things like previous year papers and other marks weightage. Likewise.
Yeah, I understand you that we should not neglect other aspects of ourselves. If we just focus on the weak aspect, we should also focus on other aspects. If we don't do such kind of thing, our strength points or our good points will become our weakness, and our weakness, if we just too much focus on our weakness, we can improve our weakness, but other points should not be neglected. They should also be get some focus.
Yes, I would like to also add second point that uh, before starting any new thing or any new project or studying, we should tell to our brain that I will fail multiple times and it is the part of this process. I am not going to give up on these failures because I know there will be more failures than this success looks like.
Yeah, it's true that I also see many students who fails in exam and just commit some kind of suicide, or they uh, just close their whole life due to that one failure in their exam. It's not like that they don't have the courage to face the exam. It's something like the whole environment is shaped something like in their mind they think everybody will blame them, everybody will say bad words to them if they just got failed in exam. But in reality this doesn't happen too much. Like if somebody gets failed, he has equal rights to just enjoy or enjoy his life even with the successful person. If there are two students in a class, one got success or one got passed in a particular exam and another got failed, then the past student should not teach or should not blame the student which is failed. If he does something like that, the other student will feel inferior and he will just lose the track. And if the competition, if the exam is too much tough, like the competitive exams we see, IIT, JEE or something like that, in that kind of pressure, the student spends his 1 or 2 year of precious time into just preparation for the exam. He don't do any kind of other thing, and it just happens to be that he just uh, fails the exam with 1 or 2 marks, or even 10, 20 marks. Even that kind of feeling makes him feel guilty about his own self, and at that point he is very much uh, he can commit suicide, or he can do other kind of things which are not good for him. He can harm himself. So at that point he should spend time with his family or good friends, which can make him feel better than just crying or just feeling guilty about it. What do you think?
Yes, most of students what do they do? Like they they create their life around that exam. Means their exam becomes more important than their life. And there is obvious thing, logical thing, that in competitive exam there is very limited seat for student and there are multiple candidate for applying it. So we should not make any exam our life. We should also see beyond that life, and there is also role of our parents, that should, they should say that this is a exam only, not your whole life. You can try other things. So it is our responsibility to awake the society.
Yeah, it's true that. And also I have seen that majority of the people has a mindset like zero sum mindset, in which they just think that if we are winning, other one should be losing. But this doesn't happen in the real world. Like it can be a positive sum game, like everybody can win. But lot of people who has poor mindset don't understand this. People think like if we are losing, or if someone is winning, we should lose. If someone is losing, we should win. Something like that. What do you think about it?
Yes, I remember one story of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, that one day the some offensive aggressive people came and they said, why you gave written that Quran to that to Muslims, because most of time what happen, if there is war, temples and other religious places are destroyed, but they give their uh, pride or importance to their Quran and return it back to that people and them. So other people say that we should not return that thing, because they do bad for us, so we should also do bad for us them. So Sambhaji Maharaj said that we should uh, we should build our empire and high our flag, not low their flag. Means their main meaning of don't compare with others. Like I am rich or I am middle class, so I don't need to grow. Means I don't need to get a big thing by climbing on poors.
Yeah, I am getting what you are trying to say. You are just making the point that if you are trying to become rich, or you are trying to become successful, it doesn't mean that you should affect the growth of other people around you.
Yes, it's like not pulling other people slow for becoming you at the higher place. That this is not our. This should not be our mentality. we should also high our place, not low others' places. We should also help them to grow with us.
Yeah. What kind of other things can we say about failure?
Failure, we should not uh, panic in the situation of failure that we think this is the end, I cannot do anything. That negative affirmation affect our brain and not limit our brain and not to cross our limits. We should try other things, like there will be a sad time or a good time, but we need to understand this is life like a wave. There will be goods or bads, both both will change. There is line, this time will go, means this time will gone. If it is happy time or it is sad time.
Yeah, I understand it, and I also agree that life is all about highs and lows. It travels like a frequency wave. If you are experiencing some highs in your life, like you are getting too much grades or you are very much happy, then it is said that there will become a phase of life you will feel sad. And if you are currently feeling sad or just lonely, then it this phase will also go and another successful phase will come. So it is life is just like a wave you are saying, and it continues to grow, and we don't have to just stick ourselves to particular success or particular failure. We also try to enjoy the actual process. We should not make ourselves just stick to the results of success and failure. If we just do that kind of thing, it will make us feel very much good at the end. I remember a quote from Sandeep Maheshwari, I think. He says that if a cricketer is playing cricket without knowing that he will success or fail, then he will play his best performance. But if he is bound to success or his emotions are bound to failure or success, he is just constantly thinking that he will get success or he will get failed, then such kind of things will distract himself from actual work, and he will not achieve what he is trying to achieve. Even if he success, then this success will not make him too much happy.
Yes,
What do you think?
and I also add to like point in, as you previously said, if a person is repetitively failing, then there will be also a reason that, like I would like to share a story. Like if a horse try to swim and a fish try to run, it's a impossible thing and they will not give their best because that is not their talent or characteristic. Likewise, many people or most of student go in the wrong field. Due to that, they don't perform well and fail again and again, and the improvement also don't affect and don't stop the failures. So we should also reflect ourselves that is this field for me or not. It's good for going in right direction, not in wrong direction for a long. Then we need a long time for returning in right direction.
Yeah, I know that this concept is a philosophical concept. It is also called as sunk cost fallacy. That a person thinks that if I spend X hours in doing a thing, like example, if you are doing some kind of game or some kind of betting apps, they tend to use this kind of phenomenon. Like if you spend 5 rupees on the app and you lose those 5 rupees, then you think like that, if I have lost this 5 rupees, I should recover those 5 rupees by putting another 5 rupees. And this goes and goes, and you just lose too much of your time or too much of your money behind one thing. Hence, you just need to remember that you should reflect on a particular point, that after too many failure or after too many attempts, you should also reflect that is this thing for me or not. If you think like it is not for me, then you should quit it wholeheartedly. Like we think that if we have spent too much time on one particular thing, our mind do not agree with quitting that thing. Our mind thinks that if we spend a few more hours, then it will be go right. But at that time, you should just quit it, because you have already spent too much time doing it, and spending more time will lead to failure. It will not lead to success anymore.
Yes, and we should also notice the struggle or the life of great persons, like we can say Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, or any player or entrepreneur, that there are many setbacks or failures came in their life, but there only one formula applied to every situation, that they never give up on things. They commit themselves strongly. They have a burning desire for that goal, and they don't have any distractions and failures that stop them. They become unstoppable by that mindset.
Yeah, also this thing reminds me of the phenomenon of the motivation. Like if you are doing one particular thing, there can be a motivation to do the thing. You just get motivated and start doing one thing. But after you get some kind of failures, you start to lose your motivation to do the thing. And at that time, you can say there are just two types of motivations. There is a intrinsic motivation and there is a extrinsic motivation. The extrinsic motivation is like you are watching a YouTube video, or your father or any relative or friend is telling you that you can do it or you should do it. This type of motivation is called as extrinsic motivation, which comes from outer sources other than you. And there is also intrinsic motivation, which comes within you, from within you, and you own self can think like I can do it. Then this motivation is far more valuable than extrinsic motivation. What do you think?
Yes, it's important that you should believe that I can do this thing. If you don't believe, then who will believe on yourself? Like you have a faith in your head that I will achieve this goal, and you start visualizing it in your brain. That's give you a motivation from inside, and that remains for long time, I think.
Yeah. So I think it's like end of the podcast now. We will talk about another things like the depression session or the work-life balance or the college-life balance in our further episodes. I think this episode should end now. So I will just summarize it. What we have seen today. Firstly, we have seen that there are some kinds of failures in our life, which can be both in the educational field, like we fail in exams and other things, and it can be on our real life, like we fail to do some kind of work or any kind of project or any kind of competition or other things. Uh, Other thing we seen in our today's episode is that we should get enough motivation to do the thing. We have seen that intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Also, we have seen that in the life is like a equation, or it is like frequency of ups and downs, highs and lows. A phase which is you are going through will just fade out, and another phase of happiness will come. Uh, do you think any points have remained?
I would like to add point that we also don't think about our failure that is permanent. We also think about our future things. There are many things except failures. So don't stop on the failure. Failure is not full stop. It is a only comma in your life.
Yeah, okay. So thanks, Anand, for this podcast, and also I want to thank the listeners. Hope you get some knowledge out of it. Bye. See you in the next one.
Bye.